You breaking news that's coming in. This one in connection with the fact that Ukraine's Zelensky arrives in Hiroshima for the G-7 summit as world leaders sanction Russia. Now, what is important to remember is that Prime Minister Modi to hold bilateral meeting with Ukraine's President Zelensky. Notably, this is the first in-person meeting between the two leaders after the Russia-Ukraine war started on February 24th last year. So that's the significant development that is coming in. All right, I have Rishabh who continues to track the latest for us. Rishabh, if we speak about one aspect being that, Volodymyr Zelensky has arrived in Hiroshima, but what is extremely crucial is that Prime Minister Modi will be also holding bilateral meetings with the president. It's going to be very important because the last time he did talk about the Russia-Ukraine situation, he said this time is not the world era for war, beg your pardon, and that is something that of course resonated with the world. How do you look at this crucial meet and what can one expect from that?
India-Ukraine summit is surprising and very interesting in a diplomatic world. Remember, Ukraine have been saying that India can use its influence on Russia to solve the Ukraine crisis as soon as possible, can play the truce between Russia and Ukraine. We have had the first Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs from Ukraine visiting India just last month. Back then as well, there were approaches that how there should be diplomatic visits to Ukraine, as it has been happening to Russia as well, to show the impartiality. And now Prime Minister meeting Zelensky, the President of Ukraine, is something that is big. What we expect, Ukraine is definitely going to thank India for all the relief support that India has provided to Ukraine and also discuss the future of Ukraine conflict. Remember, the last time Prime Minister met Vladimir Putin, the President of Russia, in Samarkand on the sidelines of the SCO summit back in September 2022. Modi said that this era is not the era of war and everything should be solved diplomatically. And that line, that this is not an era of war, became the baseline of any negotiation regarding Ukraine with Russia. So definitely India holds importance for Ukraine as well as Russia. And it will be very interesting to see the outcome of the meeting between Modi and Zelensky.
Rishabh, just a quick follow-up question as well. In terms of the fact that this also comes at a time where world leaders have sanctioned Russia, how do you look into that? What can one expect in terms of development on that front?
See, India has not been really affected by the sanctions. We have bought oil from Russia when the world had embargoed Russian oil. We have been one of the biggest importer for Russian military weapons as well. They have been our all-season friends. On that matter, in last 8 decades, we have ensured that our military needs are fulfilled by the Russian equipment, and that's the reason that even India has been trading with Russia. But what is very interesting that although US have been very vocal about the sanctions against Russia, but we saw how Joe Biden got up from his seat, walked towards Prime Minister Modi to ensure that that message is also sent. So India will not have any implication of those sanctions, but definitely those sanctions will come in. Ukraine and West have been pressurizing India to fall in line with the sanctions, but India has been very clear that we will do what is in interest of our democracy, and we will continue doing what is best for us. This is what the External Affairs Minister have maintained at various forums, and that's the reason that the expectations are very clear that India will be a neutral player in Ukraine conflict, and it will talk to both Ukraine and Russia to solve things diplomatically.
Right, Rishabh. Thank you very much for getting us the latest on that front and also what one can expect in terms of the G7 summit. But